From the latest on the Pahalgam terrorist attack to the World Bank cutting India's growth rate, here are the top headlines of the day. Good evening and welcome to the Hindu's News Wrap. Let's get started. Indian forces launched a massive manhunt to find the perpetrators who shot and killed at least 26 tourists in the scenic Baisaran Valley near Pahalgam in South Kashmir's Anantnag district on the 22nd of April. This is one of the deadliest terror attacks on civilians in the Kashmir Valley in decades. Tens and thousands of armed police and soldiers fanned across the region and erected additional checkpoints. They searched cars in some areas and summoned former militants to police stations for questioning, reports said. Many shops and businesses in Jammu and Kashmir closed to protest the killings. Security forces also released the sketches of 3 men who are suspected to be involved in the attack. The men from Pakistan are identified as Asif Fauji, Suleiman Shah, and Abu Talha, officials said. They used code names Musa, Yunus, and Asif, and they were also involved in terror related incidents in Poonch. Authorities are also working on a plan to have a permanent deployment of army and paramilitary forces in the mountains overlooking top tourist destinations in the Kashmir Valley to avoid such incidents in the future. Officials told PTI that a realignment of security forces was needed ahead of the annual Amarnath Yatra, which begins on the 3rd of July. There are no security forces in the immediate vicinity of the meadows of the Baisaran Valley, which is ringed by dense forests. The nearest unit is the 3rd Battalion of the Rashtriya Rifles of the Army and a company of the 116th Battalion of the CRPF, sources told PTI. It takes time for the troops to reach this place from their location, and Baisaran is only approachable on foot or on horseback, they said. Meanwhile, the government announced that additional flights will be operated from Srinagar to help tourists who want to return from the Union territory in the aftermath of the terror attack. More than 3,000 passengers flew out of Srinagar in 20 flights between 6 a.m. and 12 p.m. today. Indigo, Air India, and SpiceJet are operating 7 extra flights in addition to their scheduled normal services from Srinagar. The Cabinet Committee on Security met in New Delhi under the chairmanship of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Besides the Prime Minister, the Cabinet Committee on Security comprises of the Union Home Minister Amit Shah, of Defence Minister Rajnath Singh, External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar, and Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman. The Finance Minister is on her way back from the US after she cut short her official visit. PM Modi also cut short his official visit to Saudi Arabia and returned to India early on Wednesday. He held a meeting soon after his arrival and discussed the attack with External Affairs Minister Jaishankar and National Security Advisor Ajit Doval. Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri was also part of the meeting. Meanwhile, Union Home Minister Amit Shah visited the site of the terrorist attack and interacted with security and police officers. He was given a briefing by security officials. The Home Minister was told about the sequence of events and possible routes the terrorists took to reach the popular tourist spot, PTI reported. Earlier, the Home Minister attended a wreath-laying ceremony for the victims of the terror attack at the police control room in Srinagar. He also visited the Government Medical College Hospital in Anantnag and met with some of the injured who were admitted there. A gunfight broke out between terrorists and security forces in Jammu and Kashmir's Kulgam district. Security forces launched a cordon and search operation in the Tanmarg area of Kulgam following information about presence of ultras there. An encounter broke out after terrorists opened fire at security personnel, officials said. No casualties were reported in the exchange of fire so far at the time of recording. Earlier in the day, 2 terrorists were killed as an infiltration build was foiled along the line of control in Baramulla. The security forces are on high alert after yesterday's attack. Indian and US officials will begin deliberations on a proposed bilateral trade agreement in Washington from today. The US has stated that this pact with India will help open new markets for American goods and create opportunities for workers, farmers, and entrepreneurs in both countries. On Tuesday, US Vice President J.D. Vance, who is on a 4-day visit to India, said that he and Prime Minister Modi made progress on trade talks during their discussions on Monday and confirmed that both sides have finalized the terms of reference for negotiation. The terms of reference covers 19 chapters, including tariffs, non-trade barriers, and custom facilitation. An official said that these talks, which will take place in Washington, would lead to a formal launch of negotiation for the bilateral trade agreement. Meanwhile, Vance, accompanied by his family, visited the iconic Taj Mahal in Agra today. He was received by UP Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath. The body of Pope Francis was transferred to the St. Peter's Basilica, escorted by a solemn procession of cardinals and Swiss guards to the same piazza where the Pontiff greeted faithfuls a couple of days ago. Pallbearers carry the simple wooden coffin on their shoulders through the Vatican's arched gateways, out into St. Peter's Square and into the Basilica, and cardinals in their scarlet cassoques, bishops in their purple robes, and Swiss guards in their golden and blue uniform followed slowly behind. The 3 days of public viewing in the Basilica will allow ordinary Catholics to grieve the 88-year-old Pope who died on Monday after suffering a stroke. The basilica will be kept open until midnight to accommodate the crowds, and the mourning period will end on Friday at 7 p.m. local time when the casket will be closed and sealed. Several heads of state are expected to attend the Pope's funeral, which is said to be held on Saturday in St. Peter's Square. The World Bank has lowered India's growth forecast for the current fiscal by 4 percentage points to 6.3% amid global economic weakness and policy uncertainty. In its previous estimate, the World Bank projected India's growth at 6.7% for fiscal year 2025-2026. On Tuesday, the IMF also lowered India's GDP forecast for the current fiscal to 6.2% from its January estimate of 6.5%.